tonight, rural residents fight to protect their homes from bushfires as authorities warn the worst is yet to come. It's not his fault. Victims of the Red Centre Nats burnout reach out to the driver who was behind the wheel. A police officer thrown into the air after being mowed down during a traffic stop. Has the Deputy PM gone back on his promise to decentralise and bring more jobs to the Territory? And we revealed the used cars Territorians should steer clear of.
This is 9 News with Johnathan Uptin.
Good evening. Residents in the rural area are tonight on high alert as bushfires continue to threaten their homes and properties. It comes after a terrifying night that claimed at least one home, and authorities are warning the worst is yet to come.
It appeared seemingly out of nowhere.
Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has told Donald Trump he has his back over the nuclear threat posed by North Korea. They spoke at length on the phone, pledging to encourage other world leaders to step up and to rein in Kim Jong-un.
Arriving for his 7:45 phone call with the North Korea doomsday clock ticking down.
A reckless driver remains on the run tonight after he mowed down a police officer and didn't even stop. The senior constable was just doing his job, trying to pull over the motorist for speeding. Security cameras recorded the heart-stopping moment.
In a reflective vest with a torch and stop sign, this officer is hard to miss, but this speeding hatchback acts as if he's invisible.
The family of two victims of Sunday's Red Centre Nats accident has taken to social media to extend its sympathy to the driver involved. Posting a picture of Chase and Linnell on Facebook, the Bushfire family wrote, "We'd like to let the driver know we are thinking of him and are sending our love his way." A Supreme Court jury in Darwin has heard alleged drug trafficker Konstantinos Kantoranakis wanted to make a heap of money by distributing methamphetamine across the Territory. A key witness said Kantoranakis insisted the NT was a good drug market because there was a shortage of meth. The trial continues tomorrow. Get ready for possible blackouts. That's the warning from Australia's energy market operator. It's arguing urgent action is needed to keep the lights on during hot summer days down south, sparking a war of words over the future of one of our nation's largest power stations.
The lights may be on, but for how long?
Barnaby Joyce's plans to decentralise Commonwealth public servants away from Canberra has hit a snag. The Deputy PM now backtracking on these comments made last Friday when announcing funding for a new biosecurity facility at Berrima.
It will help us replace some of the work that we're currently doing at Geelong. So we're moving jobs and work from Melbourne to Darwin, and that's a good outcome for the North.
An Australian grandmother on trial for drug trafficking in Malaysia claims she was a victim of an online love scam. The 54-year-old is facing a possible death sentence after being arrested at Kuala Lumpur Airport in 2014.
Headed for a courtroom on a journey which could take her to the gallows.
Bushfire fears can mean only one thing. We're into the final stages of the dry season before the humidity sets in for the build-up. With all the weather details, here's Georgie Chumbley.
Thanks, Jono. It was a hot day in Darwin City, the hottest so far this month, 36 degrees. But that low humidity kept the apparent temperature at 30 degrees or below for the entire day. As we saw earlier, it's wreaked havoc again for firefighters. That total fire ban still in place this afternoon across the region. The rural area soared to 37 degrees just before 3 this afternoon. Very hot and continuing to be very dry there. But how's this for a comparison? Very different to our own Corroboree-Billabong area. This is Corroboree Ski Lodge in Perisher, New South Wales, where it hovered between -5 and -1 today. Totally snowed under. One of the coldest and hottest places in Australia sharing a name. How's that? Jono, that snow does look pretty good right about now. Will we get any more cool weather our way before the build-up? I'll have those details later in the bulletin.
Georgie, thank you. See you then. It seems the government's tourism marketing is paying off. The Territory has had a boost in the number of international visitors. 302,000 overseas guests came to the NT this financial year. That's up 8% on the previous year. In total, they spent 16% more, around $485 million, and stayed, on average, for 13 nights. In the news ahead, a notorious baby killer back before a judge. So what has she done now? In the wake of Hurricane Harvey, a second major storm bears down on the US. And we reveal the Rabbitohs' new coach just a day after Michael Maguire's sacking. She's one of Australia's most notorious killers. Kathleen Folbig did the unthinkable, killing her 4 infant children one by one over 10 years. Today she appeared in court again, appealing a sentence handed to her for punching another prisoner in an argument over a toaster.
Kathleen Folbig has spent the last 14 years in jail.
Let's stick with the sporting theme. Henry's back and the AFL Finals Series begins tomorrow in Adelaide.
It certainly does, Jono, and we'll have a full finals preview with AFL legend Matthew Lloyd after the break. Plus, Mitchell Moses prepares for Mission Impossible in Melbourne. Australia wrestles back control of the second test in Bangladesh as David Warner scores a brilliant century. And Venus Williams secures an All-American semi-final after a 3-set thriller.
Tonight's Sports Report is proudly brought to you by Harvey Norman Electrical. Shop with confidence. Shop online and collect from the store.
Eels star Mitchell Moses says he's in the best form of his career as he prepares for his first finals campaign in the NRL. The Parramatta halfback will need to be firing on all cylinders this weekend as his team looks to pull off Mission Impossible in Melbourne.
2009, that grand final scarred Mitchell Moses.
An angry Socceroos coach Ange Postecoglou has hit back at stinging criticism as our World Cup hopes teeter on the brink. A 2-1 win over Thailand last night just wasn't enough to avoid a dreaded playoff series.
Disappointed but not yet defeated. This was Ange Postecoglou in full combat mode.
Venus will now play fellow American Sloane Stephens. Looking forward to that one. It should be a cracker, Jono.
Henry, thank you as always. In the news ahead, the latest headlines. Plus, buyer beware. We reveal the safest and the most dangerous used cars on the market. The race to save a toddler dragged under a moving car. And how you can earn a flight around Australia simply by doing your grocery shopping. Now to our top stories. It'll be a nervous 24 hours ahead for rural area residents with fire conditions expected to worsen tomorrow. Homeowners spent the night defending their properties. Some are armed with only garden hoses. A reckless driver is tonight on the run after mowing down a police officer in Sydney. And the Chief Minister has asked for more detail and greater certainty after the Deputy PM appeared to backtrack on plans to decentralise public servants and move jobs from Geelong to Darwin. For those in the market for a second-hand car, don't spend a cent until you watch this next story. The safety rating of almost 300 used vehicles is out today with everything you need to know to keep you and your family safe on Territory roads.
A Mitsubishi Lancer and a Holden Cruise. Same year, similar price, but very different outcomes in a head-on crash.
Coles is ramping up its attack in the supermarket wars by boosting its loyalty program, Flybuys. The grocery giant is offering customers a chance to win one of 5,000 return domestic flights with Virgin Australia when they spend $50 in one transaction. Additional entries can be made by purchasing selected brands, including Cadbury. Georgie's back now with the weather. Georgie, these high temperatures, are they here to stay?
High temperatures, but for the meantime, Jono, low humidity. I'll have the full details after the break. It was the warmest day since August in the city, but now the sun has set. It is much cooler right now, 28 degrees. The relative humidity is 51%. It was 35.9 degrees. The top temp today rounded up on our graphic to 36 degrees, but low humidity meant it didn't feel a degree warmer than 30. No surprise, the rural area was warmer, 37 degrees. Low humidity this afternoon not helping with those fires. Not a cloud in the sky across the Territory, not even in Nhulunbuy, 23 to 32 there in Tennant Creek, 16 to 30 degrees. Not much sunshine across the rest of the country though, with the exception of Sydney and Brizzy. No sign of spring in sight for Melbourne, showers increasing, a measly top of 16 there. It'll be windy in Tennant Creek tomorrow, hot and sunny everywhere else, 29 the top in Tennant Creek. The swell will pick up throughout the day tomorrow, reaching 1.5 metres around midday. Strong winds east to southeasterly, 15 to 25 knots, shifting northerly and dying down slightly in the afternoon. High tide will be just after 7 tomorrow morning, 7.2 metres. Low tide just after 1 p.m, 1.6 metres, and then sunset will be at 6:42. These tides are great for Barra. Head out to Middle Arm or West Arm on the last half of the outgoing tide, or try the first 3 hours of the incoming tide. You'll also catch a few nice mackerel out near 6 Mile Buoy. And catch of the day goes to Brett from Humpty Doo with a 40-kilo Spanish mac. 1.5 metres long. It is beautiful, Brett. Well done. In the rural area, what a surprise. Sunny again, a top of 38. In Palmerston, 37, sunny 2, and another hot top of 36 degrees in the city. Looking to the 7-day forecast, we're in for some beautiful dry season nights. Saturday it'll be 19 degrees, Sunday 18 degrees before the temperature rises again. Slightly cooler days, but stuffier nights ahead, Jono.
Too bad for this time of the year, Georgie, thank you. To finance it, our market has closed lower today. The All Odds down almost 15 points. And as we heard earlier, a dollar briefly jumped above 80 US cents today before settling at 79.87. And that's 9 News this Wednesday. I'm Johnathan Uptin. From all of us here, good night.